Hey guys, it's Rod with POW Group. Today is Wednesday, October 7th. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. In today's video, we're going to discuss whether or not now is a good time to get into the cannabis space and start investing in cannabis stocks, or whether or not we should wait. I'll let you know what my plan is for the next few weeks and into the election. We'll also discuss a few other news articles and market moving headlines that move the market today. So stick around and we'll jump right into it. Okay, welcome back. So first on the list before we jump into the cannabis due diligence and review and whether or not I think that now is a good time to get involved, I just want to highlight a couple of news articles and events. So today we did have a stimulus update, basically Trump going back on his word. Not surprising, as we've just seen chop in the market, but yesterday basically saying that all stimulus talks are off until after the election, now saying he wants to bail out the airlines and he wants to reinstate the $1,200 payments to Americans. So you can check this out if you haven't already. I'm sure you already have. But essentially, I'm looking to just switch up the format today and do a review on whether or not I think getting involved in the cannabis space right now is a good idea, because I'm honestly just sick and tired of talking about stimulus, and hopefully you are too. So let me know in the comments below if you're looking at cannabis stock entries or what your plan is. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified on any future updates. So before we jump into the charts and review, again, we just have a couple more things I wanted to mention. We have the debate tonight with Kamala Harris and Mike Pence, which is at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you can expect to see some volatility around that. And we also saw that 4 states are up for legalization. So we have Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota. And we're starting to see more CNBC coverage as well. We also have the Biden potential for a win, which he's currently leading in polls. We know that Kamala Harris is also very pro-legalization. They want to decriminalize. They want to remove from Schedule I drugs. So that would bring safe banking, all that good stuff. And it would be great for the market in general. So nice to see that we're seeing some positivity in that regard. And like I said, we'll just do a quick overview of the indices, not too much. We have inside bars on SPY, inside bar on QQQ. We had some 5-minute bearish divergence on QQQ to end the day, just bringing that up here real quickly. But you can see that we had the price trending up and the RSI trending down. And that kind of gave us a little bit of a clue that we could potentially see a sell-off into the end of the day. And not a huge sell-off, mostly just profit taking into the end of the day with the debate tonight, and solid grind up all day. No reason to take profits. No reason not to want to take profits into the end of the day. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But we didn't really see Apple or tech really contribute today in the huge run up, and we still see Apple pinned around the 115, closed just barely above the 50-day moving average. But if we take a look here, it's closed below the 10-week moving average. We could be curling up here on the MACD, on the stochastic, and through the 10-week moving average. So if we can close this week above there and start to cross on these macro indicators, that will have me a little bit more bullish the market. But right now, I'm just playing very cautious on the way up. I'm being mindful that we could potentially still see weekly bear flags in Apple and Google and Facebook. We also have weekly head and shoulders on Microsoft and what was the other one? Microsoft and Amazon. So we also have gold in a descending triangle right now on the daily, which I just had up, which we rejected at resistance. So just basically playing it cool for the next couple of weeks, trying not to go too hard on any longs, basically just avoiding investing at the moment. And if I am trading long, I'm just in and out for a quick flip, because like I said, we were in daily downtrends. We want to see if these weekly bear flags are negated. And right now it's looking like we have a daily descending triangle pattern on gold, which would line up right around the election. So what my plan is is to essentially just hold off mostly in cash. I have a short position right now on SPY and QQQ. And I'm basically just looking to buy the dip in marijuana stocks because I do think, not to get political, but I do think that Biden's going to win. And I think it's going to be a huge pivotal point for the cannabis space. And I want to be positioned well for that because we know that we could see huge, if history is any indicator, then we can look at the Canadian legalization and how we saw thousands of % of upside. And that's definitely what I'm starting to plan for. So jumping into, that's pretty much all I had for you folks on the indices and individual stocks. I want to keep this video a little shorter. So in essence of doing that, I'm going to jump into the MJ due diligence and review. So I'll give you guys basically my opinion and where I see the market going over the next few weeks, what my plan is, what I'm already doing. So first on the list, my current holdings right now. So I have a mix of Canadian companies and American companies. And I have a mix of CBD plays, MSOs, LPs, you name it. So let's take a look at what those are. So I have BAM, Body and Mind, XLY, Oxley Cannabis Group, TGOD, The Green Organic Dutchman, CWeb, Charlotte's Web, CL, Cresco Labs, TrueLeaf. I also have Hexo, Afria, and Canopy. So I'm basically, I have a huge position in Canopy. That's my biggest one. Out of all of these, then Afria, then Hexo. And I also have a sizable position in TrueLeaf and in CWeb and in BAM. Smaller positions in Oxley, smaller positions in TGOD, smaller positions in Cresco, but actually I'd say about a medium position in Cresco. So definitely being cautious right now. I think there's a little bit more downside for the US stocks, but I do think that on the Canadian side, we could be showing signs of bottoming, if not getting very close. And I do think that, so if they do legalize in the States, I do think that the Canadian stocks are going to obviously benefit from that as well, but not nearly as much as we would expect for the American stocks. But as we know, Canopy, Hexo, they got joint ventures, they have distribution channels in the United States, so that will also help them as well. But like I said, diversifying a little bit into the Canadian space and just going to look to average in and accumulate about 3 or 4 orders on each of these names. I still have a few other stocks that I'm watching, which I'll highlight in a second, but let's just jump into some charts and analysis. So for the Canadian space, let's take a look at CGC. So on the weekly, we are rejecting here at EMA 12. So I did take a position around the mid 14s. So I saw that we had support here at the $13 level. I did see that we hit a low of 13.88. So that's when I started to queue an order. I absolutely wanted to play off of that support, and I'm just looking to accumulate. And if it drops below that, we have the 52-week low at $9, which was the March lows. So I would accumulate all the way down to those lows. And even if SPY or the overall market starts to roll over, I'm okay with that because I'm going to scale in a few orders. So I'm looking to scale in around, let's say, every $2. So maybe I'll take a position now at 14, and take another position at 12, take another position at 10, take another position at 9. So there's multiple ways that you can do it. So if you're like me and you've entered on that, maybe you want to wait for a higher low now. So now that we've run, since my entry, we've run about 10%, almost 15% here in a couple of days. Do I really want to, and you can see here we also have this RSI trend line, support line as well. But do I really want to be buying up here? Not really, as we are approaching EMA 12. So what I would potentially look to do is enter on a weekly higher low. So we'll wait for this weekly bounce to top out, and we'll know that that has happened once we've lost the daily uptrend. So all eyes on the daily uptrend right now and EMA 12 resistance. But ideally, I would like to see a higher low over the next few weeks. So let's say we go up here, we test resistance, and we come back and we form a higher low. Maybe you buy then on the weekly higher low. Maybe you're really patient and you want to wait for a monthly higher low confirmation. And how would we know that the monthly higher low has been set? would be a weekly trend change. So if we can form a weekly higher low and higher high, change the monthly trend bullish, maybe that's when you're looking to get in for the long term. So let me know in the comments below what your strategy and what your plan is. Maybe we can help out and shed some light on what we would do in that situation. But that's essentially my game plan right now for CGC. And I'll spend a little bit more time on Canopy because it is the head honcho in the space. It's the largest by market cap. If we talk about largest revenue, they're actually not the largest revenue. I think they only brought in about 110 million. And there's MSOs in the United States who bring in well over 110 million, and that's in US dollars. So as you can see, we are still bearish on the stochastic and the MACD, and we are still well below the 10-week moving average. Let's take a look at CGC on the daily chart. So we are well below the 50, the 100, and the 200-day moving average. So that's pretty bearish. So again, just all of these things are making me hold off and take things with a grain of salt. So that's why I haven't gone too heavy on most of these names. I'm just starting to some starter positions on these names. But now is a good time, in my opinion, to start accumulating because we only have about 4 weeks, a little under 4 weeks until the election. And if we see Biden and more news articles and narratives driven around what's going to happen if he wins, and if things start to point to him winning even more, the odds are increasing, then we could start to see more and more articles and more hype and pumping, and you know what it's like in the space. So just look into position and be ready for that next wave. I do think that because of the crisis and the economy, that the sickness has really hurt the economy, that we could benefit a lot from these job growth and potential job opportunities that would come with the legalization of marijuana. So I do think that we have a very high probability of getting passed. And another one that I really like is Afria. So Afria saw a huge week, huge day. Basically, we saw rumors that Canopy Growth may be buying out Afria. Honestly, that's not why I got into Canopy or Afria because like I said, we're at a point where stocks are so cheap in the cannabis space that M&A is starting to pick up. So mergers and acquisition activity, not surprising. Another one that I wouldn't be surprised to see potentially is Hexo. Maybe we get some new partnerships there, but stock, I think, is seeing a lot of strength recently, and I think a lot of better days are ahead for Hexo, and we're watching this bit of a wedge here, this falling wedge on Hexo. We'll see which way it breaks, but love their products, love their drinks, love that they're trying to dominate the cannabis drink segment of the space. So it definitely seems like they're the leader right now in the drinks. I like their drinks more than Canopy's. I like their drinks the most out of any other LP out there. Yeah, I really like Afria. Again, not getting too caught up on the merger with Canopy. We'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. And we'll react. We'll see how we react to it, right? So there's the reaction to the news coming out, and that's what I'm most focused on. So Cron, not super into Cron anymore. I don't really like their products, to be honest with you. A little overpriced. I just don't have as much interest in them anymore. Like I said, I've tried their products. I haven't really heard anything about them. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on Cron and Kronos Group are. But like I said, I'm not sold. Their management, their stock has been hurting ever since the all-time high. It's just basically been on a complete downtrend, rejecting an EMA 12, and just needs to form a monthly higher low here and higher high to change the monthly trend. Like I said, if we look at APHA, it's looking to change the monthly trend. So again, that would line up nicely in the next few weeks with a Biden victory and could potentially be a monthly bull flag. We'll have to wait and see. But like I said, we're starting to see significant shifts, and it's been a while since we've been in a monthly uptrend. But we'll continue to look at CGC. Like I said, once we confirmed a weekly trend change, then we can be confident that the monthly higher low is set, and then we'll eye resistance up here at 1966 and 2219. And then we also have EMA 12 resistance, which has been acting as resistance for quite some time, up around the $19 level. So that'll be another important resistance level to get over. But again, just looking to slowly accumulate, and we'll look to see how far the bulls can bounce on this weekly bounce and daily bounce. But we'll just expect, because of the size of the bounce now, just a daily higher low. Maybe you're looking to add on a daily higher low as well. That wouldn't be a bad plan right now, given the fact that we've run almost 15%. Look to enter on a daily higher low, but don't underestimate these bulls, because when they get going, they definitely are full steam ahead, and it's very easy to miss the train. I took a position in TRUL today, and I bought around the 25.50 level. You can see here we were coiling up, and once we broke here, I think it was 25, actually it was 25.60. So I bought right here when we broke 25.60, and I'm swinging that position. I saw increasing bull volume. Swinging that position overnight, again, it's not a huge position. I will scale in. I'm looking to accumulate these positions, and I do think that there's more downside in the broader markets. So, and again, regardless of how much hype and euphoria, it's going to take a lot for these bulls to get not to get derailed if SPY rolls over or QQQ rolls over. So just keeping that in mind. I do like Curaleaf. I do want to pick up some Curaleaf and some Green Thumb. Honorable mention to CXXI. I like Harvest. Yeah, there's so many different companies that I'm looking at. I'm looking up. I'm looking up. I'm constantly looking at different data. And to be honest, right now, these are the ones that I'm most confident in so far, and I'll let you guys know if anything has changed. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other companies that you're looking at that you want covered. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to leave it there. That's basically what my plan is to accumulate over the next few weeks. Look out for a market downturn. Potentially we get some weekly bear flags in big tech, and we see some consolidation, and we start to cool off, because as we know, things don't go up forever. We were starting to see some weakness in just mention real quick that we were noticing some weakness in the real estate sector today. So the home builders ETF XHB, you can see that we did see some huge weakness yesterday with the rest of the market. And then while SPY was trending up, we saw that this ETF was trending down. And then at the end of the day, looking to confirm well, we are in a 5-minute uptrend, but almost lost the 5-minute uptrend there into the end of the day. And XLRE, the real estate sector trust ETF, you can see we sold off into the end of the day and wasn't quite as strong. So maybe that's an indication that we could start to see. We saw that Toronto was issuing alerts that they could be in a downturn. And the next day, I think it was, the condo listings surged 215%, which is huge. And obviously people just starting to panic a little bit and wanting to get out before the herd. And that's pretty understandable. So again, wrapping up, we have the debate tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern with Kamala Harris. We'll see if there's any mentioning of cannabis in that at all. But I'd be interested to see how much cannabis talk starts to flare up into the next few weeks as the election looms. That's going to do it for today's video, folks. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed this market perspective and analysis on the cannabis space, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and tick the little bell to be notified on any future updates. It's Rod with Powell Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you in the next video.